hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Government distributes 1 million pesos to 45 former rebels in Cagayan. AFP sets year-end deadline to eradicate 11 weakened NPA guerrilla units. DILG urges LGU to establish its own 911 emergency call centers for La Nina. DOH assures no new cases of mpox in the country, urges public to be alert and cautious.
Good day everyone, as well to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo, Quezon City. Today is Friday, August 16, and we'll bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. I am Ralph Susan for AFP Community News.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our stories, the government granted 1,075,000 pesos to 45 former rebels during the awarding of assistance to former rebels at Villa Blanca Hotel, Tuguegarao City recently. This aid, part of the Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program, supports the former rebels from Santo Niño, Rizal, and Bagao, Cagayan. According to the Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office, 36 former Mission Ambayan members received 58,000 pesos each, while 9 former rebels or the regular NPA members receive additional integration and livelihood assistance totaling up to 86,000 pesos. The distribution was led by the provincial government of Cagayan in collaboration with various military and police units and highlights the government's commitment in supporting individuals who have reintegrated into society.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines plans to eliminate the 11 remaining weakened New People's Army guerrilla units by the end of 2024. AFP spokesperson Colonel Francis Margaret Padilla confirmed that the goal aligns with the national government's broader aim to transition from internal insurgency to external defense. The effort follows a reduction from 13 to 11 weakened units reported earlier this year. The AFP aims to complete this mission within the year as part of the Bagong Pilipinas movement.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
And let us hear more updates from Shai about Philippine Navy appoints a new vice commander.
Philippine Navy appointed its 57th Vice Commander during a ceremony at Navy headquarters recently. Philippine Navy Flag Officer in Command, Vice Admiral Toribio Adasi Jr. led a said activity where Rear Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta formally replaced Rear Admiral Cesar Bernard Valencia, who was transitioned to Superintendent of the Philippine Military Academy. In his address, Vice Admiral Adasi praised Admiral Valencia for his role in advancing the Navy's capabilities through new ship acquisitions and strategic enhancements. He also expressed confidence in Admiral Espeleta's strategic insight and leadership skills suitable for his new role. This is Shai reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Shai.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
National Security Advisor Secretary Eduardo Wanye announced that the new People's Army will no longer pose an issue for candidates in the 2025 elections. He revealed that the number of weakened NPA guerrilla fronts has dropped to 5 from the previous 7, indicating a diminished NPA presence. Moreover, National Task Force and Local Communities Armed Conflict Undersecretary Ernesto Torres Jr. supported this view, noting the CPP NPA's reduced the influence in key electoral areas.
DWDD Armed Forces
Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. attended the opening of the Inter-Cabinet Cluster Mechanism on Normalization Caravan in Lanao del Norte. His presence alongside Presidential Peace Advisor Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. emphasized the AFP's commitment to the Bangsamoro peace process. General Browner assured the continued AFP efforts to maintain peace throughout the Bangsamoro. The ICCM caravan aimed at delivering essential services under the normalization process involves various national agencies, Bangsamoro ministries, and international partners.
Armed Forces Radio.
We have a report coming in about AFP installs a new commander of AFP Reserve Command. Go on for the details, Bea.
Yes, Rolf, the Armed Forces of the Philippines installed the new commander of AFP Reserve Command in a ceremony recently. AFP Vice Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Arthur M. Condura led the said activity where Colonel Ferdinand Jimenic P. Ramirez replaced Brigadier General Vicente M. Ronatay, who was honored for his 34 years of service. Relatedly, Lieutenant General Cordura praised Ronatay's contributions and expressed confidence in Ramirez's leadership to enhance the Reserve Forces' operational readiness. This is Beatrice reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Bea.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The University of the Philippines assures that its new cooperation agreement with the Armed Forces of the Philippines will not restrict academic freedom. The UP-AFP Declaration of Cooperation establishes a framework for collaboration while affirming UP's commitment to intellectual freedom and dialogue. UP President Angelo Jimenez emphasized that the agreement allows researchers to define their terms of engagement and that all activities will be mutually agreed upon. The UP Center for Integrative Development Studies will lead the research collaborations, including forums, workshops, and publications while adhering to academic rigor. Jimenez noted that the agreement aligns with previous collaborations between UP and the defense sector, aimed at enhancing public policy and national unity.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the Department of the Interior and local government is urging the local government units to establish their own 911 emergency call centers, particularly with the onset of the La Nina phenomenon. DILG Secretary Benur Abbas Jr. explained that the move aims to create a seamless nationwide communication infrastructure for emergency services. He also assured that the LGUs will use the latest tools and techniques around the world. Abalos emphasized that LGUs should support the national government to effectively manage emergencies by setting up local call centers just like in the USA.
Armed Forces Radio.
From First CRG, let us hear some information from Joanne about 91st IB holds intensified info drive on CTG Youth Infiltration.
The Philippine Army's 91st Infantry Sinagtala Battalion conducted an information drive to intensify awareness on the deceptive recruitment of communist terrorist group at Aurora State College of Technology or ASCOT, Basal, Maria Aurora on Tuesday, August 13, 2024. Lieutenant Colonel Aris Quinto, the acting commander of 91st IB, said in an interview on Wednesday that the lecture on youth infiltration school awareness benefited 840 students of ASCOT, headed by Maria Luz F. Cabatan, the Dean of College of Agriculture. He added that the information drive is a part of their effort to counter the attempts of communist rebels to lure the youth. As part of the campaign, a film showing on the memoirs of a teenage rebel, a true story of an ex-rebels, a defector of the New People's Army, reveals her dark past as one of its ranking operatives. Quinto also said that the troops discussed national security threats, the infiltration efforts of the New People's Army, and its recruitment schemes, among others, to the students. Meanwhile, an army recruitment process was also conducted on the said school. This is Joanne Sagaok reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Health urges the public to be alert and cautious following the World Health Organization's declaration of Mpox as a public health emergency of international concern. DOH spokesperson and Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo said, "It's okay to be cautious so that the public would know what actions to take to avoid infection." He then emphasized that there are no recent cases of Mpox in the country. He also explained that the last case was detected in December last year.
DWDD National News.
For the related news, the World Health Organization declared the Mpox surge in Africa as a global public health emergency. This is the highest level of alarm under the international health regulations, which are legally binding on 196 countries. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said that the situation in Africa and the detection of mpox in neighboring countries is worrying. He also emphasized that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
On the other line, let us hear from Jim Boy about COA or COA approves 122.25 million pesos tax subsidy for abscess for 2019.
The Commission on Audit has granted the Armed Forces of the Philippines Commissary and Exchange Services a 122.25 million tax subsidy for the fourth quarter of 2019. The subsidy initially withheld by the Department of Budget and Management was valid as it fell within extended appreciation period due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The COA found the claim valid based on Resolution Number 4-19 by the Department of Finance Fiscal Incentive Review Board, which approved a total 449.4 million tax subsidy for 2019. COA emphasized that the DBM should have processed the request given the appreciation was still available. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Jim Boy.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine Statistics Authority has recorded a smaller number of poor Filipinos in 2023. From 19.90 million in 2021, it went down to 17.54 million in 2023. This brings the poverty incidence to 15.5%. National Statistician and Civil Registrar General Undersecretary Claire Dennis Mapa attributed this to rising wages and rise in employment rate due to a growing economy.
DWDD National News.
Filipinos are most disaster ready based on a survey by Gallup for the Lloyd's Registered Foundation. The Philippines tops a list of 142 countries in disaster preparedness, with the highest proportion of households having a disaster plan. In the last 5 years, the Philippines is also the top country who has experienced a natural disaster. Southeast Asia is among the regions most prone to natural disasters.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
For other updates, let us hear the details about Western Mindanao Command hosts Senior Enlisted Leaders Forum. Go ahead, Betaniete.
The Western Mindanao Command held the 3 days Enlisted Leaders Forum at Camp Navarro, Zamboanga City from August 12 to 14, 2024. The forum, attended by the 65 senior enlisted leaders, highlighted leadership strategies and launched a suicide and a violence prevention campaign using the USAP approach. Brigadier General Aldred Anani and Lieutenant General William Gonzalez commended the participants for their dedication to leadership and morale enhancement. This is Beth Tanyete reporting for the EFP Community News, 1 EFP for a stronger Philippines.
An improvised explosive
Thank you, Betaniete.
DWDD National News.
Moving on to another story, the Department of Transportation is prioritizing the modernization of the Philippine Coast Guard's aerial and marine assets. Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista said this would help in responding to maritime incidents and securing the nation's coastlines, particularly in the West Philippine Sea. The DOTR chief pointed out that the modernized fleet is essential for fulfilling the PSG's mandates. Bautista also pledged the DOTR support in helping the agency achieve its goal of zero casualties in maritime incidents.
DWDD National
The
News.
Bureau of Jail Management and Penology appealed to the House of Representatives for a higher budget next year for the food and medicine of the inmates. BJMP Jail Director Rupel Rivera suggested that the subsistence allowance of inmates be raised from 70 pesos to 100 pesos daily. Rivera hopes that the lower chamber would support the agency's effort to alleviate the suffering of the PDLs. Under the 2025 proposed budget, The Department of the Interior and Local Government has allocated 29.2 billion pesos for the BJMP.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now let's hear a report on the ground about IED explosion near Tipo Gymnasium causes panic but no injuries. Go for the details, Leonor.
An improvised explosive device exploded at the base of an electric post near Tipo Gymnasium in Tipo Basilan, causing mild panic among nearby residents. Brigadier General Alvin Luzon of the 101st Infantry Brigade reported that the explosion damaged the electric post and a section of the gymnasium's perimeter fence, but resulted in no injuries. Initial investigations suggest the incident may be linked to recent basketball games related to the Tipunan Festival. Luzon dismissed claims of a Busayaf group involvement, stating that the remnants of the group have been eliminated from the area. This is Leonor reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
For other development story, Department of Information and Communications Technology Undersecretary Jeffrey E.N.D. assures that the eGov Super App and eLGU portal were not affected by the attempted hack. D pointed out that the hackers were not successful as they were unable to breach the defense of the site and take control. A certain Death Note hackers group has claimed responsibility for the attempted breach. Currently, the DICT is conducting further investigation in coordination with the Philippine National Police and National Bureau of Investigation.
DWDD National News.
Leisures Group Pambansang Lakas ng Kilusang Mamamalakaya ng Pilipinas or Pamalakaya is seeking a 15,000 pesos monthly subsidy for each fisherman affected by the oil spill in Bataan. Pamalakaya Vice Chairperson Ronald Arambulo explained that the said amount is based on the average monthly income of a small fisherman. Arambulo also urged the BIFAR to conduct further studies to prove that fish caught in Cavite are not fit for human consumption. BIFAR earlier denied an appeal to lift the fishing ban imposed on 8 municipalities in Cavite.
Armed Forces Radio.
From 2nd CRG, let us hear from Sina about U.S. troops conduct HADR training in Legazpi City.
Yes, Rolf, an urban search and rescue training took place at the old airport in Legazpi City, Albay. The activity was part of the Pacific Partnership 2024, the largest annual multinational humanitarian assistance and disaster relief preparedness mission in the Indo-Pacific region. Participants from the City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Bureau of Fire Protection attended the training. They worked together for the Pacific Partnership 2024 from August 1 to 12 in preparation for future humanitarian missions. The goal was to further enhance the skills and readiness of the Legazpi DRRMO and military personnel in handling disasters and calamities. Captain Joshua Akinde from U.S. Army facilitated the said training, which includes collapse structure training, rope rescue training, support for recovery and casualties, and helicopter rescue. A culminating training exercise was also conducted after the said activity, where the participants will demonstrate their skills they have acquired for over more than 2 weeks of training. This is Sena from Solcom reporting for AFP News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Sena.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Ella Mercado about RD Lucas orders the arrest of 3 dismissed police officers of PRO-4A.
In line with the directives of Calabarzon PNP Regional Director, Police Brigadier General Paul Kenneth Lucas in fight against most wanted person throughout the region, 3 dismissed police officers formerly assigned to Police Regional Office 4A were arrested by authorities in an operation conducted in Calamba City, Province of Laguna. Through the joint efforts of Regional Intelligence Division 4A, Regional Intelligence Team Cavite, Regional Intelligence Team Laguna, and Regional Special Operation Unit 4A, under direct supervision supervision of Police Colonel Agosto Asuncion, together with Regional Intelligence Division MD-4A, 403rd Regional Mobile Force Battalion 4A and Kawit Municipal Police Station, and by virtue of warrant of arrest issued by RTC Branch 120 Imus Cavite, the arrested suspects were identified as dismissed police officers Leonard Pareja, Gian Paulo Meliona, and Reynaldo Kilit, facing the crime 6 counts of robbery in bond under Article 295 of Revised Penal Code, recommended with bail of 100,000 pesos each. The suspects now under the custody of Kawit MPS for proper documentation and proper disposition of their case. This is Ella Mercado reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ella Mercado.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Agrarian Reform wants to increase its budget 11.101 billion pesos next year. This is 35% higher than the agency's budget for 2024. Agrarian Reform Secretary Cornado Estrella explained that the budget will be used to sustain the upward trajectory of land distribution and to complete the distribution of condonation certificates. Estrella said that the additional budget will also accelerate the resolution of remaining agrarian reform cases.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in next week for more updates, same time and same station. Again, this is Ralph Susan for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Mga katropa, alam mo ba na ang DWDD 1134 kHz AFP Radio ay ang opisyal na radio station ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng Army, Navy at Air Force na siyang maghahatid sa inyo ng mga balita mula sa ating Armed Forces at iba pang impormasyon. Mga katropa, hanapin at ilike kami sa Facebook, Twitter at YouTube. DWDD AFP Radio.